Good afternoon, folks. A couple of days ago, I put a video out, as you've seen, and I was talking about sleeper cells and basically how they're operating in the UK and now Northern Ireland. And then, long behold, uh, we had an incident in mainland UK to do with a train, and two suspected terrorists from Britain, dressed in black, boarded a train, armed with two knives, and proceeded to stab everybody in sight. You can only imagine the horror that people were experiencing on that train. I'm quite a regular on the train, and I can tell you now, if something like that ever happened, I wouldn't be sitting watching it. And I'll tell you what I'd do: I'd take the fucking knife off them and stick it between their eyes. And whether I lose my life in the process doing that, I'd rather that than stand or sit and watch everybody else dropping around me like a coward. I'm not calling the people that didn't do anything a coward, by the way, because it takes a different type of a different breed to run directly at danger and rather to sit and look at it. And I am that breed that runs directly to it. I've always been that way, and doesn't do me any favors at times, and I have been in trouble throughout the years doing things like that. But yeah, I beeline directly to it. So I suspect, and this is just me thinking out of the box, that it was a terrorist attack, and it was to do with ISIS, and it was obviously Muslim stabbing Christians, white Christians, any white Christian in sight was getting it. So as you all know, I was living in Carrickfergus, and I was up and down the train on the Carrickfergus back and forth Belfast on a daily basis, and I'd done that for about 2 years. And at night time, coming back up on the train, I shit you not, all I seen was just eat bags. And to the point where there was that many of them getting on, the trains brought in old legislation, I think it was 95, that you cannot put a bicycle on a train before 9:30 in the morning. And they started to enforce that law, and that there for me had an impact, because I wasn't able to put my bike on the train before 9:30 in the morning. So here's where I'm getting at. What's on the train at 9:30 and before in the morning? Children going to school, lots of them. So I abided that rule and decided the other means of transport at that time. Now, whenever I was coming back on the train at night, all these Just Eat bags and whatnot, they were getting off at Jordanstown, Newton Abbey. A lot of them didn't really venture far past there. And now, with what's been going on and with the chimney corner, as are all seeing, protest there, which was very good. Well done to everybody, by the way, who was in attendance. As you can see, the numbers are increasing, and that was part of the strategy that we wanted to achieve. And obviously we want to be friends about it all, and doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter, if we have a common cause, we should be shaking hands and talking about it. And we will be. We don't want anybody falling out over stupid stuff that can be fixed. But yes, so all these Just Eat bags, obviously we're getting off the train and boom, beelining it on them bikes that go about 70 mile an hour straight up into the chimney corner. Now look at the recent events up at the chimney corner that you've been seeing protests and whatnot out there, and the crime levels have increased. Foreign nationals getting up to no good. What worries me the most And listen, you know, I, there's people out there who do videos all the time. If something comes into my head and I feel like I need to talk about it, I'll go and do a video. If that's every hour, it's every hour. If it's every week, it's every week. I try to be in and amongst it all, just to keep you updated, but it's quite difficult, with other things going on in life and responsibilities and whatnot. But something is propelling me to do this, and it's just because I can see what's going on. I'm out and about every day. I have a lifetime of knowledge, out and about every day, all walks of life. I've lived everywhere, and I can see it. I can see it all unfolding right in front of our eyes, and I'm wanting to do something about it, without, causing anybody any harm. Violence and all is definitely, we don't want to go down that road. But I mean, our women and children and now men are being stabbed, and now they're boarding trains. And this is what I'm coming to. For the life of me, if something like that happened to our children on a train going to school, we are going to erupt. It's about preventing that, and there's ways to do it, and I honestly believe patrols is going to be one of them. That you can be on a train. Just be aware of your surroundings. Have your phone ready. Just keep looking. So the slightest thing, boom. Do not be afraid to phone the police. Do not be afraid to phone the police, especially if you think someone's got a big knife, because they will use it. And you don't want them using it on our children, especially when they're going to school. But yeah, that's basically why I wanted to come on and address the stabbing on the trains, because it's escalating. Everything's escalating here, and nobody wants it to escalate, but we have a right to defend ourselves, and it's, as I say, we're this close, and it's about taking the next steps properly, and being aware. You just need to be aware of your surroundings. Plan ahead. Don't be going to 24-hour garages by yourself, especially if you're a young girl or a girl, woman, whatever. Or a man. Just WhatsApp live WhatsApp your location. Make sure someone has it. Be in contact. If you need to leave the house, but make sure someone knows where you're going and they can watch where you're going, because we're about to hit some serious dark times in this country that you've never seen before, and it will make the 70s look like schoolboys. We are fighting a different breed, a different animal, and I can get into stories about how they operate, and whatnot, but I'll leave that for another day. But I just wanted to let you know that I've been on these trains, and if they're starting to board trains and putting knives into people, there's no security on these Translink trains over in this country. There's no security to the point where people are coming from Dublin up, then crossing the border up into Northern Ireland and then getting off. And that's why you're seeing the southern accents and the Romanian gypsies and things like that there. And then they're running around the streets of Belfast selling drugs and polluting the area full of needles. So I think maybe it's time. You do see the odd police patrol
very carefully
on the trains, but it's potluck. It could be 1 out of every 10 trains you'll see one. We're still left open. We're still exposed. So we're gonna need to really put our heads together here and think about our own personal protection, our safety. But yep, that's all for today. Anyway, I'm just sitting here, scrolling through YouTube, having a look at people's videos and news and things like that, and trying to get as much intel as I can, so I can get these videos out there, break it down to maybe 5-10 minutes, so I'm not wasting anybody's time, and you just can get a little bit of intel while you're busy. I know everyone's busy doing their own wee things, but yep. Good luck and enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you are doing, and be safe.